This is Tolbert & Cope's Sound Soiree.
No, I've whipped up this nasty little soiree.
The best sounds you might have missed.
Soiree, what?
Soiree, honey. I think that means party.
On the sports leader.
There it is, the calming sounds and tunes of the Sound Soiree on a Wednesday. December 6th, Tom doing the snore sound effects so you know he's there. If you are on the roads, hope you're driving safe. It's raining cats and dogs. Tom. It's coming down out there, man.
Is it really still?
It is dumping. Well, it stopped for a while, and now it is a bomb cyclone or an atmospheric river. Raf from the KNBR Weather Center was letting us know it is really coming down out there. That's why we've got to stay inside, pull up next to the fire, listen to the cool tunes of a Sound Soiree on Wednesday, December 6th. Why don't we start with a nice calm voice here? It's Dre Greenlaw. Dre Greenlaw, 49er linebacker, had a statement. Here he is on his apology to head of security from the Philadelphia Eagles, Big Dom. Dre Greenlaw with an apology. Here he is.
We just exchanged a formal apology just between me and John and some of the same people that we do know that in the building and stuff like that. So he seemed like a genuine guy, seemed like a guy that everybody loved in the building. So I hate that. Honestly, I really hate that it even escalated and went to that. That's never something I ever been a part of or seen in the game. But so yeah.
Did you, just to clarify, did you talk to him or text, or was there any?
Nah, no text, but just like a verbal apology, just kind of between just a couple people, John and Kyle, and a couple people that I talked to, just that kind of knew him already.
Like tell dog sorry. That kind of thing?
Yeah.
And did he say the same thing like you?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I got the message back.
You didn't see him in person at all?
No.
All right.
So usually when there's somebody facilitating the apology, it's not all that.
Well,
Okay.
There's a guy apologizing. John was there too. Yeah, I apologize to the kid at school. My mom made me. She held my hand. We walked over there.
I apologize to his friend. He told him.
Yeah, right.
That I'm sorry, but look, it doesn't surprise me they're doing that. I mean, stuff like that, man. I think people would be surprised how much the adrenaline flows, at that level, and he even ramps up a bit because of who you're playing, where you're playing. It does. And sometimes you do stuff. Some guys are better at controlling their emotions. I'm not sure that Dre Greenlaw is great at controlling his all the time. Like Fred Warner, I'm not sure if Fred Warner would do something like that. He's just better at he can keep it a little more even keel while still, being an animal out there, just doing what he does. Draymond's great, and it's funny that people make that comparison because I think it's that, but Draymond has trouble controlling his. He goes overboard. Everybody knows it. He gets into it, and he just can't get himself out of it. Where, Steph's more calm. He gets mad sometimes, too. I saw him get a tech this year. I was like, what? Steph got a tech?
Yeah.
He must that's when you say, oh, he must really be mad, because he just doesn't do that. When Draymond gets a tech, you don't say, oh, he must really be mad. You just said, oh, that's Draymond.
Draymond woke up this morning. Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's what he does. That's what Draymond does. Not a surprise. He just, Draymond does. So, some guys just can do it. Some guys can control their emotions, and some guys have a harder time. And I think, Dre Greenlaw, but it doesn't mean you're not sincerely apologetic afterward. You're like, oh man, I blew that one. I got to do a better job of the whole thing, and then you go out and do it again a couple weeks later. But this was even beyond that. This was it was an odd circumstance that they both happened to be right there at the same time, and words were exchanged, and already everything's heightened. So, yeah, I mean, look, it's over. I said it on Monday. Same thing. You want to give Dre Greenlaw the 15 yards for, suplexing a player, fine. You could have let the other two guys in the game just say, you know what, that's enough. What are you guys doing? Chastise them, admonish them, whatever you want to do. But I don't think he should have been kicked out. I don't think Dom should have been kicked out of the game. I think they both should have been allowed to stay.
I think Dom should have gone. Here's Chris Russo. Moving on here in the Sound Soiree. Chris Russo.
That's a rough day.
He's on first take here.
It's a rough day.
Do you think he's happy, Tom, or do you think he's not happy with Shohei Ohtani's handling of free agency? What do you think?
He's going to be furious, I bet.
Well, let's go to the tape. Here's Chris Russo.
He's going to be furious.
The fact that we're even discussing this is a complete joke. This Ohtani scenario sweepstakes, do you know when he won the MVP? He wouldn't even tell you what his dog's name was because he had his dog there when he won the American League MVP. Anybody who pays Ohtani $600 million needs their heads examined anyway. He's not going to pitch next year. He's a DH. And tell me this with Ohtani. How many times were the Angels in a pennant race in the middle of September? They won 73 games last year. He missed the last 25 games, cleared out his locker room, did not even tell you what's going on, and left the team. So anybody who goes out there and gives him $600 million needs their freaking head examined. Let's get that going here first. And what is the big secret? Geez, he's a free agent. He's talked to 6 teams. Giants. He was in Dunedin with the Blue Jays. Obviously, Roberts does that. I mean, the Cubs are in the mix. The Angels. Well, what is this? The atomic bomb? We're not allowed to find out. This is baseball. He's a celebrity. This is what it's about. This is stupid. That somehow, some way, if you reveal that you had a breakfast with Ohtani, you should be basically thrown out with the bathwater.
Well, he talked himself into it, huh? He worked himself into it, didn't he?
That's a rough day.
Oh, man.
That's pretty
I love
good.
the way he works himself into a lather.
Let's get that. First of all, let's get that going.
Let's get that scenario out there.
They better get their heads examined. Let's get that going. That's pretty good.
He loves the word scenario. So
Yeah.
that kind of scenario.
Scenario, yeah.
He won't even give you the name of his dog. Sitting there winning the MVP like it's the atomic. It's not the atomic bomb. Not Oppenheimer.
This is good.
What are we doing here?
That's good stuff. I endorse it. I get a kick out of that.
do I.
Moving on here, Chris Russo makes me laugh. Let's go to one of the other guys, a dude who is a reason that I'm in sports media. What up, clones? Welcome to the program. It's Jim Rome, dude. Dude, Jim Rome on Ohtani. You ready for this? Jim Rome. Dude, haven't you been? I think I've heard you. Haven't you been a guest on Rome before?
Oh, yeah.
What up, Tommy? Welcome to the program.
Yeah, I've known Jim for a long time.
What up, Tom? You hear him from the Bay in San Francisco. Here's Jim Rome. He's this is good. He already knows where Ohtani's going. Jim Rome. Here's Romey.
I know where he's going. I know where he's going to sign. And at the risk of blowing it for that team because I talked about them, I don't give a damn because I know. I know where he's going. You know how I know? I do, and I'll tell you why. But first, let me let you know where he's going. Shohei, clearly, is going to the Giants. The Giants. The money may be the same or close to the same everywhere, but in Frisco, Shohei gets the money and the sandwiches.
A hero.
Have you seen the story? My man Ike. Jungle legend Ike of Ike Sandwiches. Ike is on record of saying he wants to change the name of his sandwich empire, and it is an empire. He wants to change the name of his sandwich empire to Shohei's if Shohei goes to Frisco. Who the hell can say no to that? And more importantly, who can match that? Who can match that? So what's important to Shohei? Winning, warm weather, and I would imagine a sandwich empire. What the hell is Toronto going to do? What is Toronto going to do to counter or to match? Is the owner of Tim Hortons going to change their name to Shohei's?
I got to tell you, the dude still has it, man. He has not lost a fastball. Like, Rome cracks me up. He's by himself. He's just sitting there every day just riffing, dude. He's just breaking down. He's going to get the sandwiches. Fantastic, dude. Yeah, I did see Ike put that out. By the way, Ike, one of our guys here, KNBR, sponsor here at the Sports Leader. Is he one of Rome's sponsors, too? Or did Rome just put that out there? I saw Ike do the video the other day. But anyway, pretty good. There you go. He's not just getting a sandwich. He's getting the whole empire.
Is the owner of Tim Hortons going to change their name?
It's a great question. He posed a great question, and he used the perfect business. I thought he was going to go with like poutine or something, but no, he just went straight Tim Hortons. All right, that's your sound soiree for Wednesday, December 6th, 2023. When we come on back, we got a lot of fun here. Andy Baggerly going to join us, our Giants insider from The Athletic, and then at 5 o'clock, the best half hour in radio and noted Harmony fan, Steve Young, is going to stop by the show for his weekly conversation. Andy Baggerly joins us next, talking Shohei and his sandwich empire on the Sports Leader.
Hey everybody, Mr. T here for Xfinity. This holiday season, there is one thing every sports enthusiast needs. Fast, reliable connection to stream all your favorite sports. Why? Because you got pro football, you got college football, you got pro basketball, you got college basketball, you got hockey. That's right, you got them all. There's a big bunch of stuff to keep up with, and you want to keep up with them. Maybe you want to watch a hockey game, then you want to watch some pro football, and you want to watch a little basketball. Well, you got your TV, you got your phone, you got your tablet. And not just you. Maybe you got kids, and they want to watch their favorite sports. And then someone's streaming a movie, and someone's doing this. You got to have a strong Wi-Fi connection. They have it for you. You're not going to get dropped during a game-winning field goal. It's not going to freeze up on you when somebody is in a, how about a shootout? You know, those are fun. Everybody kind of likes a shootout nowadays. Maybe they don't. But the bottom line is everyone's going to get to watch what they want to watch with no problems whatsoever because of your powerful Wi-Fi. Oh, that's right, your powerful Xfinity Wi-Fi. From the unexpected lead changes to sudden death overtime, what you need is fast, reliable connection to power all those devices. And with Xfinity, that's exactly what you get. So treat yourself this holiday season to front row seats to all the games. The next generation Xfinity 10G network is made for streaming live sports, which means it's a network you can count on in crunch time. Get the fastest internet and a strong, reliable connection, even when everyone's online at the same time. The Xfinity 10G network. The future starts now. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Love sports? You love high def? You love having that strong, fast, reliable connection? You will love Xfinity.
Listen to the sports leader anywhere, anytime. Download the all-new KNBR app. Now, Tolbert and Copes continue live from the KNBR Casino Matrix Studio. Casino Matrix progressive jackpots are here. Where are you? Just drop in. Please play responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Tolbert and Copes with you on a Wednesday evening here. We are trying to make the connection with Andy Baggerly, our Giants insider from The Athletic. The news today is that the Giants are up, according to Vegas, in terms of their odds to land Shohei Ohtani. We just played some Jim Rumsound, which was pretty funny, and his reasoning wasn't totally sound, but based on what Dylan Hernandez told us from the LA Times, the columnist who has a relationship with Shohei a little bit in his time covering him, and he's of Japanese descent himself and spent a lot of time in Japan and covering and watching Japanese baseball, has a little bit of a beat, at least on what Shohei is looking for and the kind of guy he is. And told Tom and I something I thought was pretty interesting. I mean, I've never had any idea into his psyche or what kind of person he is. And he said, Japanese culture, very specific. And he said he doesn't necessarily abide by Japanese customs or think like a lot of people in Japan do, but he does operate in a way where he uses or goes through a lot of their customs day to day. He says, one of the reasons, and this is what was told to Dylan Hernandez by Shohei Ohtani, said the reason he came at 23 is he wanted a chance to get to the Hall of Fame. He says, I think he's Roy Hobbs. I think that's what he's looking for. Andy Baggerly joins us courtesy of the Yuma guest line, covers the Giants for The Athletic. What up, Bags? How are you, man?
I am walking out of the media workroom, and I am not going to return, so I am doing well. How are you?
Doing good. You're getting off work is what it sounds like. Good. So you're down in Nashville leaving the media workroom at the winter meetings, yeah?
If I can find the exit to this place, I will walk out of it for the last time until we come back here in 5 years. So yeah, I'm doing well. That's a good thing. That's positive.
Good deal. Well, good for you. Way to wrap up another one. So what was the vibe of this one? How did this go? I mean, I know there's stories, and I know you've written about it and talked about it, and hearing meetings in hotel rooms next door and what's happening at bars between GMs. I don't know. Just it seems like it's hectic at times, and this is obviously one of the more interesting winter meetings because of the secrecy around Ohtani. What was your take on the whole thing?
I mean, it was interesting. It also was a bottle with an enormous cork in it. I mean, it seems like that's the story every offseason. There's a couple of big moves, and everyone's like, well, once those big moves happen, then the rest of the moves will start to happen. And that's usually true, but it's usually true about a handful of different moves, and they end up, sort of breaking loose. And this is just one really big move. And you could say that Yamamoto is the other one, but we know he wasn't going to sign before these meetings ended because he's going to meet with teams in Los Angeles next week. So the Ohtani thing, I think, is really kind of holding everyone, leaving everyone in suspense. And you saw some teams do some minor things, but even those things were kind of maybe setting the stage for other moves, whether it was Seattle clearing some payroll or Verdugo moving. Maybe he's going to be a piece that moves somewhere else, or maybe not. So, in terms of the Giants, I mean, they didn't even take a guy in the Rule 5 draft today. I thought, well, at least I'll have that to write about. I thought, well, maybe Cooper Kuip will make the Hall of Fame. I could write about that. Nope. Neither of them made it. And, Castiglione's, I thought, well, what's this guy done? Well, okay, he's been the radio voice of the Boston Red Sox for 41 years. So, yeah, I think he deserves to go in. But, we really just didn't have anything to tell Giants fans here, and I feel bad about that.
Any word whatsoever on Bellinger?
I mean, Scott Boras did meet with the media today, and Bellinger is somebody who's going to get a big contract just because he's a former MVP. He's still on the young side. He's still, a good defensive player. I think that, teams have some measurables that they can point to that are a little bit troubling in terms of how hard he hit the ball last year. I mean, the numbers were good, but, I just don't know if that's going to translate well to a place like San Francisco. There may be some places that can project a little more from him than others, but there's just not a lot of supply out there. You look at his track record, and he should get a $200 million contract. But it's been so up and down, especially with the time he really wasn't a very productive hitter at all, that it's a big gamble at the same time. So he would make them better if he's the Cody Bellinger who played for the Cubs last season. Can he be that kind of player consistently for 6 or 8 years? I mean, that's asking a lot. So, you start just to wonder, would Cody Bellinger even be the move that they need to make if their first priority is to get a star. Their first priority is to get someone that's going to really excite fans. That's the most important thing right now for them as a business first. And then as a baseball team, you figure out the rest around that almost. It's the opposite of the way that they've done business, under Farhan Zaidi. So, how many stars out there can they get? If it's not Ohtani, if it's not Yamamoto, they're going to have to find some creative way in a trade to add some names, because there just aren't a lot of names beyond that.
Talking to Andy Baggerly here on the UMA guest line. He's leaving the winter meetings. He just walked out of the media room at down in Nashville. Yamamoto, you just mentioned him. The numbers are staggering, I think. One is his performance in Japan, pitched very well in the WBC, and people are saying that's warranting $200+ million. Today, Ken Rosenthal saying well over $200 million. Initially thought to get maybe 7, 8, 9 years. This is unprecedented stuff for a guy who has thrown nearly 1,000 innings in his professional career in Japan. We've never seen somebody get this type of hype as a pure free agent at 25 years old coming over from Japan. And they're saying he projects as a number 2, has the chance to be a number 1. How big of a risk is this?
Well, I think there's 2 reasons why, this is turning into a massive frenzy. Aside from the usual reason, which is everyone needs pitching.
Yeah.
He's 25. Most of the time these guys come over, like Kodai Senga, they're 29, maybe 31, 32. He's 25 because he was already a star in the NPB by the time he was, 18, 19. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, there is so much more that they have, so much more data that they have in the TrackMan and everything, and they can see, the ride on his pitches and the spin rates and all the other things, and that really allows them to more comfortably and confidently project performance and how it's going to translate. And if they had all that numbers and all that stuff back then, Hideo Nomo probably would have hugely blown up, and the Dodgers wouldn't have got him for a song, essentially, because teams would have realized what they had potentially. So that's a big difference too, and it's one of the reasons that all these teams have access to that data, and the guy's a competitor as well. I think that he really is someone that almost every team can very comfortably project as just a really, really solid rotation piece for a long time to come. So, the Mets are all over him. The Yankees are all over him. There's a lot of confidence among Yankee people that he wants to be a Yankee. I think this is going to be really, really competitive. And, the Giants at the start of the offseason, from what I was understanding, they were like, yeah, we're going to be as hard on this guy as anybody. We're confident that we'll be able to, be there in the end. But this is going so far north that maybe they're not quite as confident anymore.
I got to tell you real quick, just on that same note, Americans at 25 don't end up as free agents. Like 25 is a young free agent anyway, even in professional baseball. Like if you were in the majors if you were drafted at 18 and you play through and you're a superstar at 25 in the majors, maybe, but your arbitration is probably playing out differently.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. I mean, there aren't really any 25-year-old free agents on the American side, because there's nobody really that's in the big leagues at 17. Probably about as close as we're going to come is when Juan Soto becomes a free agent, and obviously Bryce Harper, I think, was 26, maybe going on 27. So, and that's why those guys are so good. They get to the big leagues so fast. The Braves should count themselves extraordinarily smart and or lucky that they've got Ronald Acuna locked up, because he'd be another in those unicorn sort of free agents that are super young when they hit free agency, but they sign into that long-term deal. So, hey, it'd be nice if the Giants had a player like that. But it's tough. It's tough when you've got a lot of resources, but you're also really desperate, and there's a finite supply out there. And, I don't want to say that I sense panic from the Giants front office or from ownership, but there is a sense of urgency, and I don't know if there's any really big move that they feel could be a statement move that they feel confident they can wheel in and bring home right now. And we'll just have to wait and see what Ohtani, what's really important to him. And, I think that he'll have the opportunity to choose the Giants if that's where he wants to go. But, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of reasons to think that, he would favor San Francisco, especially with the ballpark. And I heard he does want to play somewhere maybe with a dome or indoors, but you never know. You never know if that's really true or not. No one knows what this guy's thinking. So we can speculate all we want, but I think we just have to remain patient and just see what he picks.
Something that may affect the Giants indirectly was the trade of Juan Soto. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I think there's still some medicals that are holding that up.
Be careful with those. We've learned around here in the Bay Area.
No, we have. Yeah, we have. And AJ Preller, I think, is someone who always, he's a little unpredictable. But, everyone expects that this is going to get completed. And, honestly, I really thought, you talk to Giants people, and they're like, they were never going to deal him within the division. We knew that. But when you think about it, and the way I think about it, I think it's perfect to deal him within the division because you take Juan Soto off the Padres, you put him on the Giants. Which is the better team? I think it's still the Padres. And that's one season. You have to deal with them for one season. You're not trading them to the Dodgers. You're trading them to the Giants. And meanwhile, you're pillaging their minor league system. So I think it's a lot more impactful if they can throw, a superstar like maybe Bryce Eldridge turns into a big-time hitter or, Kyle Harrison turns into a big-time pitcher. I think it's a way more bigger impact if you can throw them at a division rival for 6 years than just, 5 months of Juan Soto. So I don't know. I would think about trading him within the division for the Padres. Maybe even it's to their benefit, but it doesn't sound like that's going to happen. He's going to go to New York.
Talking to Andrew Baggerly here of The Athletic, covers the Giants, one of our Giants insiders here on the UMA guest line. So last year, the pivot from Aaron Judge was to Correa, and then from there it went to, I guess it was like Conforto and Mitch Haniger. I think Haniger might have signed to the Mets. I can't remember the...
Yeah, Taylor Rogers, yeah.
Yeah. The pivot happened, at least offensively, after Carlos Correa. Where do they go this year? Is the obvious pivot... I want to ask you sort of in concert with that, Jung-Ho Lee, the Korean player that was posted, the center fielder. He's an intriguing option. Giants have ties to him, and he was actually posted by his team, so they've got to bid for the rights to negotiate, I believe, right, is the way that goes. But anyway, where's their pivot? If it's not Ohtani and it's not Yamamoto, do they get in on Snell? Is it Chapman? What happens?
Yeah, well, first with Lee, they don't have to bid for his rights. I mean, he does have right to negotiate with.
Oh, he can with that. It's not the okay.
He just has 30 days to sign. With Yamamoto, the Japanese players, is 45 days. But the posting fee now isn't for you don't buy the rights to negotiate. What you essentially pay in the posting fee is a percentage of the guaranteed money in the contract.
Gotcha.
So, and it goes up by certain thresholds. So with Lee, I think that you're looking at a player who I think does have a lot of interest from teams. His best friend in baseball is Ha-Sung Kim of the Padres, who Bob Melvin absolutely loved in San Diego and really finally flourished as one of the better players in the league when Melvin played him every day. And before, the Padres didn't play him every day and made a huge difference, was like a 5.5, 6 WAR player. So, would he want to go play alongside his buddy Kim, or would he want to play for Melvin because he knows that Melvin's going to stick with him and play him? That, to me, is the most important thing I've heard for Kim or for Lee, is he wants to go someplace where even if he struggles, and he knows he's probably going to have some struggle as he adapts to big league pitching and everything, to go to a team that's going to stick with him and play him every day. And if the Giants can make him those assurances, then I think he's going to be an attractive destination for them.
So we got to hope Ha-Sung Kim hates Mike Schilt. That's all we got to hope.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ha-Sung Kim's like, I'm not done with Schilt. Then maybe Giants get Lee. We'll see.
But yeah, so you've got him, and like you said, you've got Snell, you've got Jordan Montgomery, you've got Eduardo Rodriguez. You've got good players out there, but if you spread it around and you sign 5 free agents, like you said, it's something like that's what they did last year, and I don't think there is going to be that kind of enthusiasm because they did that last year and it didn't really work. So and they do feel good about Conforto. They feel good about Mitch Haniger. They think that these guys are good players. In fact, Bob Melvin at his manager Q&A session said, "I like the team we have." And I thought, okay. And he said, the way I think that, I always answer the question that way because if we don't sign anyone, I don't want to be disappointed. And I look at the players we do have on this roster, Wilmer Flores, J.D. Davis, obviously Logan Webb. Those are some good players. And so he's like, I like the team that I have. Well, that's not messaging that's going to fly with fans right now, obviously, but, they're going to have to do what they can do to put a good roster together. And even if it's not a roster that's going to wow people from a star standpoint, if they can't follow through there, then at least put together a team that has a chance to contend and compete. And and people come around if the team's winning.
Look, Bob can't even look in the mirror and sell that to himself. He just can't. It's just, I'm sorry. There's just no way he's buying that. What about we're concentrating, and rightfully so much on free agency. What about trades? Because there are pitchers out there that are apparently out there to be had. Glasnow is one of them that may be on the move. I'm forgetting there's a few others out there, but
yeah,
you got to
give up. A big one.
Yeah, exactly. You got to give up prospects now. It's not just money, but what about those guys? Do you think the Giants may be in on anybody that could be a top of the rotation, a top 3 type guy?
Yeah, they match up so well with the Brewers. The Brewers need corner infielders. They need pitching. Burns is a guy who's in his last year before he's a free agent. The Brewers, I don't think have taken a big-time player in his last year of arbitration all the way to free agency and then let him walk since Prince Fielder, who's obviously a franchise player. So, their history is to get the most value from him either now or at the trade deadline. You're going to get more for him now. I guarantee you teams are asking about him. And then you got Willie Adames, who's a really good shortstop. Mm-hmm. In terms of outs above average, I think he was the 3rd best in the big leagues. And the Giants need something at short. I don't think they can roll into the season with Marco Luciano and nothing behind him. So he'd be a great player to have. And honestly, Christian Yelich, he's got a lot of money left on his deal. Maybe if the Brewers are looking to retrench and reset a little bit, the Giants could afford to take that on. And even if they know that, some of that money's not going to be terribly efficiently spent, he's a name as well. And maybe someone that fans could get excited about and had a pretty good year last year, even though it wasn't an MVP type year. So, the Brewers really do match up as a potential trade partner, but you never know what people's what's going on, what's motivating them, what other organizational decisions they have to make. And, the other thing is what's really interesting about this offseason is you've got the Yankees, the Mets, the Red Sox, the Cardinals, the Giants. These are all sort of jewel teams with fans who expect to win every year. And none of them made the postseason, even in an expanded postseason. And they're all really motivated to improve their teams and show their fans are serious about getting back. So that creates one dynamic. The other dynamic is you've got about 6 or 8 teams in the major leagues that have no idea what the revenue is going to be from the TV side, where MLB is basically going to have to take over and broadcast their games. So, there's a lot of teams, mid-market teams, small market teams, that may be more paranoid than ever about spending and may need to move money. But, that's a little unclear right now. But I think that sets up 2 different dynamics, the haves and the have-nots, and it may create some opportunities.
Yeah. Lastly, don't you think, just from a marketing standpoint, the Giants got to do something. It doesn't have to be Shohei per se, but you got to do something to create some buzz around this team right now because, they may end up being a good team. They may end up being exciting. Who knows? Schmidt may be exciting. Luciano may be exciting. Harrison may be a guy that people want to come see. But it's been pretty flat at the ballpark the last couple years, and they like nothing more than people renewing their tickets, people buying tickets for the first time, buying season tickets. Don't they? Don't you? I just get the feeling they feel like they gotta do something. There's got to be some buzz around this team, other than I think we can win with these guys. That's not a great marketing slogan.
Yeah, they were 17th in attendance last year. The Brewers drew more fans, the Rockies drew more fans, which I think I've pointed this out, but a little misleading with the Rockies since the Rock Pile's basically a $2 cover charge. But they did outdraw them. And hey, smart man, it's good business.
Yes.
But yeah, they definitely do need to, and maybe you know what? Maybe it's as simple as cut ticket prices, cut beer prices. Make it more affordable, make it easier for people to get to the ballpark and park and everything like that. Maybe that's the answer.
You ready for the rock pile pricing? I got it right here. You called it 2?
Yeah. What do we got?
They don't range between. They are both $4 or $1.
$1.
$1 here. $1. Yeah, I can't even get a scorecard for $1 anymore.
Wow, that's paying you to go to the game. Wow,
yeah, rock pile tickets are available for purchase day of game for most home games, beginning 2 hours prior to game time at the rock pile ticket office.
Except the Kleenexes, when you get the nosebleed, are $5 each. Sorry about it.
Because you really might get a nosebleed.
$1.
You legit may get a nosebleed, yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, in Denver, it probably is a legit nosebleed up there.
Yeah,
probably.
you might get one. Tough deal. Anyway, you're not watching Spillborgs or something. All right, Bags. Have a safe trip home, man. And we will, we'll see what kind of good news, hopefully good news, the Giants will come up with, man. We'll talk to you soon, Bags.
All right. Talk to you soon. Have a good one.
Bags.
Thanks, Bags. I love that the Bags there was like, man, I didn't even make a draft pick in the Rule 5. I don't have anything to write about.
Nothing. Just nothing.
And he said genuinely, he's like, I wanted good news to give to Giants fans, and we just don't have any. We are going to connect with our guy, Steve Young. He needed a few extra minutes, so we'll talk to him at about 5:15. Steve Young for his weekly conversation when we come on back. But before that, the Warriors are back in action tonight over at Chase, taking on Portland. We'll give you a little preview into that game. Chris Paul and Andrew Wiggins. We'll get you an update on whether or not they are going to play tonight when we come on back. And then the Hall of Famer, Steve Young, on the Sports Leader. '49ers wide receiver Debo Samuel was named NFC Offensive Player of the Week after his 3-touchdown performance against the Eagles. There's more on that story trending now on KNBR.com and the KNBR app. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Adam Copeland here for Underdog Fantasy, the best place to be playing fantasy sports this football and basketball season. And we got Warrior basketball back in action tonight, taking on Portland. How about this? They're going to be at home over at Chase. What you do is you download the Underdog Fantasy app. I'll tell you how to play in just a minute. Download the app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com and sign up with promo code KNBR. They're going to match your first deposit up to $100. What kind of great deal that they are giving out right now. Also, they're going to give new listeners and new customers a mystery pick live in their Pick'em lobby. Here's what you do. Once you make your deposit with promo code KNBR and get it matched up to $100, you go to the Pick'em lobby, you pick between 2 and 5 players, you select whether or not they'll go higher or lower than one of their stats, then you hang out and you watch the game and you make some money. You can win up to 20 times your money in a single game by going 5 for 5. It's legal in California, a ton of fun to play along as you watch your team, but you got to download the Underdog Fantasy app and sign up with promo code KNBR to get that first deposit of $10 or more, up to $100 doubled. And they're going to give you that special pick in your Pick'em lobby. You must be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms do apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Now back to Tom Tolbert and Adam Copeland. Tolbert and Copes. Download the KNBR app and listen anywhere, anytime. We are KNBR 104.5 and 680, the sports leader.
Tonight was more about them than us. The Sacramento game felt more about us. This was more the Clippers. Obviously, they got an incredibly talented team and a great coach, and they made the adjustment to come out in that kind of pseudo zone they were playing in the third quarter, which helped, I think, keep us off the three-point line. And you know they're going to make a run. 48-minute game in the NBA. I mean, on a team's home floor, talented group, they're going to make a run. And they made their run, and we kept holding them off. And I think we led for 47 minutes and 52 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. Felt like we deserved this one, but it's the way it goes. But I'm really hopeful that our team feels what has to happen for us to be good. And tonight was a good example of that.
That was one of the greatest athletes in Bay Area history, Tom. Steve
That's
Kerr,
right.
Steve Kerr there. We'll talk to him later in the week.
Steph Curry, Steve Kerr over there.
Bob Melvin, who just can't get away from shutting out Steve Kerr, dude, every chance he gets. He's done it like twice in the last 2 days, referencing the great history of Bay Area legacy in sports. Anyway, Steve Kerr there, that was on Saturday following the loss of the Clippers, and that was part of his opening statement there, where he was like, that was more about them than it was us, but also, it was an interesting postgame, I thought, Tom, and hearing what Steve had to say, because you said this yesterday. You said that was more about the way the Clippers played. Also, Kuminga had a great game. Played his best game of the season, I thought, maybe. Podziemski played really well, and they had Moody and Podziemski. I believe they closed the game. I feel like it was so far away ago this Saturday, but I want to say they both might have closed the game or were out there near the very end. Anyway, I get what he was saying, where that's the type of energy. That's the type of effort. That's what we have to do beginning to end, and more often than not, that will close games. But that was a backbreaker just because you're really trying to get off of this run where you're not finishing games like this, where you've got a big lead.
Wasn't that a quote from The Unforgiven? Deserves got nothing to do with it. I want to say that was a quote from that movie.
Stand by.
Clint Eastwood said deserves got nothing to do with it. It was something's got nothing to do with it. Anyway, it's a cruel game sometimes. They led that entire game until the very end. Then they didn't lead, and then the game was over. It was just wild. That was Paul George and Kawhi in the second half, just kind of being the best versions of themselves offensively. And they can really, they're equipped to make it really tough on the Warriors because they have length. They can guard the perimeter. When they played here, it was funny because they were taking turns trying to get Steph Curry matched up on whoever they wanted to initiate the play, and then the Warriors would take turns trying to get James Harden on whoever they wanted to initiate the play, because the teams both have pretty good defenders. The Clippers have two of the best in Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. So teams aren't dumb. Why would you go at one of those two when you can go at James Harden? That's who you want to go at. So, I thought that one the Clippers won. I thought the other one the Warriors lost. And give the team credit. They won that game by hitting 2 shots, but you throw it away, you deserve to lose. They didn't really throw this one away. They just couldn't make shots, and the Clippers started hitting shots, and they were just better in the second half.
I was loving Draymond gets the last shot up, too. That's always my favorite.
Well, he made that game?
He did, and it's rough. You know what's funny is we're going to have to check. By the way, John Dickinson, JD OT, Dubs OT tonight with John Dickinson will be on immediately following the conclusion of the Warriors and Clippers game. We'll have it for you streaming on Twitch and YouTube and right here. Dickinson, By the way, we had to ask Derek the other day. We were all singing it in the office, but nobody knew what the lyrics were. We're like, what is that? What is he saying there?
John Dickinson, super reporter?
Yeah, big game bound. He's boots on the ground.
Big game bound. He's boots on the ground.
Yeah, Derek says nobody knows what it means, but it gets the people going. It's provocative. Yeah, gets the people going. So he'll be on tonight, but he came with a note after that game. So he had made 4, Draymond did in that game. It was something like on the year. He's like, something like I got to get the exact note. He's, in the first quarter, considerably better at threes this year than he is the rest of the game. And it's something like he's below, he might be in the 20s or below 20% rest of the game and he's in like the 80s in the first quarter or something like that. He's off to an insane start, shooting early. So I don't know if it's a legs thing, but again, it's not like they drew the play up for him. Steph had a shot up, got it back, threw it to the wing. He had an open look as time, and it wasn't even totally open. It was clock running down, quick release. So anyway, first game the Warriors. This tonight is the first game for the Warriors since blowing that 22-point lead against the Clippers. Chris Paul and Andrew Wiggins, that's good. They got a little rest here, but Chris Paul and Andrew Wiggins are probable for tonight. There is no update as of when we were just in the last commercial break. I couldn't find any new update on CP3 and Wiggins. It's not a true test tonight. I mean, Blazers are 6-13, and I don't know. I think every night is a true test right now for them. I think when you're going bad like this, and you're the third or the fourth oldest team in the NBA, and teams like the Thunder, you're going to see Friday, are kind of running you off the floor when you play against them. I think every game right now is sort of not a statement, but a identity game. It's like you got to start doing things, start making the right decision over and over and over and over again so that these things compound.
Well, the thing is, and I haven't checked the injury report, but this team, the Blazers, they're not very good, but they got some guys that can get you. I mean, Grant is a guy that can put up 30. DeAndre Ayton is a pro. Brogdon is a guy that could hit you for big numbers. Shaedon Sharpe is so they have some guys. You come out here and think, Blazers at home, we got this. It's not that. They're not that team. It's like, the old Sixer team that was just so young and just bad, and you knew, if we just show up for a little bit, we're going to win this game. That's not this team, because they have some vets on there that if you're not paying attention,
they'll get you.
They can get you. They'll drop some numbers on you. So they better be they better be not looking forward to OKC on Friday. At least we got this one in the bag, and then we can maybe now. They better have their concentration hats on today, because if not, you could come out of this with a very, very bad L.
You give me another. I need another one. That's Burgundy, right?
They'll get you.
They'll get you. These guys could get you.
All right, Warriors and the
Watch
Blazers.
out for the guns.
I don't know if you heard me counting. I did over 1,000. The Warriors and the Blazers tonight at Chase at 7 again. Dubs OT with John Dickinson will be on tonight, immediately following Dubs OT. I'm talking like he's on with 3 or 4 minutes. He was we're not waiting 5. Said that to me last week on the first episode, because we had to be on within 5, 3 minutes. So game ends. Make sure you're loading up KNBR right here or on YouTube and Twitch. And that opening comment from Steve Kerr, you were right, Tom. Deserve has nothing to do with it, from the movie Unforgiven.
Deserves got nothing to do with it.
Boom, you nailed it, dude. Little Bill there. Nice ear. I'll tell you what that's not from. It's not from Fletch. The best half hour.
It is not. We got one from Fletch for you that we'll play, though. And if you don't like Fletch, after you hear this Fletch line, you got it. Go ahead. You tell me honestly after hearing this that you don't want to go watch Fletch. Go ahead, Tim.
Hey, you and Tommy Lasorda. I hate Tommy Lasorda.
I'm in. See if Steve Young likes Fletch. We know he's a fan of Harmony. We'll ask him about it next. Steve Young, the Hall of Famer and the best half hour in radio. He's calling us as we speak on the Sports Leader.
Hercules, shout out to you for supporting KNBR. Hercules' Sports Leader.
Chris Paul and Andrew Wiggins are probable to return for tonight's Warriors game against the Trailblazers. There's more on that story trending now on KNBR.com and the KNBR app.
Hey everybody, Mr. T here for Xfinity. This holiday season, there is one thing every sports enthusiast needs: fast, reliable connection to stream all your favorite sports. Why? Because you got pro football, you got college football, you got pro basketball, you got college basketball, you got hockey. That's right, you got them all. There's a big bunch of stuff to keep up with, and you want to keep up with them. Maybe you want to watch a hockey game, then you want to watch some pro football, and you want to watch a little basketball. Well, you got your TV, you got your phone, you got your tablet. And not just you. Maybe you got kids, and they want to watch their favorite sports. And then someone's streaming a movie, and someone's doing this. You got to have a strong Wi-Fi connection. They have it for you. You're not going to get dropped during a game-winning field goal. It's not going to freeze up on you when somebody is in a, how about a shootout? Those are fun. Everybody kind of likes a shootout nowadays. Maybe they don't. But the bottom line is everyone's going to get to watch what they want to watch with no problems whatsoever because of your powerful Wi-Fi. Oh, that's right, your powerful Xfinity Wi-Fi. From the unexpected lead changes to sudden death overtime, what you need is fast, reliable connection to power all those devices. And with Xfinity, that's exactly what you get. So treat yourself this holiday season to front row seats to all the games. The next generation Xfinity 10G network is made for streaming live sports, which means it's a network you can count on in crunch time. Get the fastest internet and a strong, reliable connection, even when everyone's online at the same time. The Xfinity 10G network. The future starts now. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Love sports? You love high def? You love having that strong, fast, reliable connection? You will love Xfinity. Come on, baby. Oh, Little Pretenders. I haven't heard this one in a little while.
Pretender?
I think I have it on my playlist, but I haven't heard it. Is it Chrissy Hine is the lead singer, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, I do love this song. Yeah, and I do. Big fan of the Pretenders. That could be your finest selection, Steve.
Yeah, no, I mean, I watched the game, and then toward the end of the third quarter, I'm like, what Pretenders these guys were. Like, they're not good. They're not. Last year, that defense was smothering. It's not. They've lost people in linebacker that you could just see, like, they didn't have the pursuit. They didn't have, like, they don't have it. I don't know if they can get it back. I know they were tired too, but I was like, we're really good. I mean, I get that part too, but I just felt like a pretender situation. So there you go.
Dang, you're just calling the Eagles pretenders just like that?
I look, when you're talking about top of the league, you're talking about the 3 or 4 teams that can go the distance.
Yes.
You're talking about, like, at home, in those clutch big moments, those big games that are going to define the season, define your and that's on Sunday they were pretenders. I don't know whether maybe they can
on
maybe
Sunday
they can come back. Yeah. Well, but like Debo catches the Texas route and then breaks a tackle and goes and runs for 50.
Yeah.
Like, where's the pursuit? Where's the, like, that doesn't those are the games when you're playing the Falcons and in October, like, it just stuff like that happens. Like, it's the best teams, that doesn't happen. Then at the end of the game, when you got to get the ball back, you got to have it. You got to have a defensive stop, and you throw a slip screen, and touched for 60? Like, no, that doesn't happen. So, and it's great stuff.
Yeah. I would give them this. I mean, I always give a team one mulligan. Just like, okay, that I get that. They played the Cowboys, played the Bills, got the Cowboys next week.
Defense was on the field a lot against the Bills too.
I am with you on this though. That defense is not what that defense was.
No, they're not, and the offensive line is not. That offensive line is not as good. And you know, I felt like that game. Last year in the championship game was going to be an all-time game. Obviously, it didn't work out the way we wanted to, but like that's what I was looking forward to this week. I was like, okay, so is this the same guys? And it's just not the same guys. And we're better. We're better than we were in January. And as long as we stay healthy, I hate to do this, right? But it's easy on the radio from 30,000 feet. Like, yeah, lock it up. Sit and, you know, Super Bowl.
They should win it. Yeah, they should.
No, really, there's just not even.
Both of you guys.
Not really anybody. There's nobody
I'm
that's
with you,
got
100%.
that.
That's my next thing.
The talent that comes out of that locker room, you know, at receiver, 2 top 5 receivers, a top 5 tight end, you know, a quarterback that's just really understands the system. Everyone says Kyle loves to run the ball. Really? Kyle loves to smash people in offense. Like, and if you give him a chance, he will eat you up. Such innovation, such cool stuff they did last week. You know, and Brock was. That's what we promised. Very tight guardrails, right? We're gonna very few mistakes. Ball's coming out. It's, you know, and Kyle just works that system so perfectly. I don't want to in early December say this team's locked for the Super Bowl, but I mean, I don't know if without injury, how does anyone beat them? I mean, they look as good and talented as a team has been since the Cowboys of the early '90s, ours of the early '90s. They look that good, top to bottom.
What's funny that you don't want to say it, yet that's exactly what you just said.
I know. But it's like we're on the radio and we're just chatting.
We're just on the radio.
Steve gets it. We got a show to do, Steve. You get it.
I'm just chatting. I'm just saying, like, what I'm doing, I'm being honest and realistic. I put the pretenders on it because that's how I felt. Like and then how else I felt. I'm just telling you how I felt. I'm wrong.
I'm Dr. Melfi.
Yeah, like I'm just telling you how. Like you have. What do you? Call someone else then. I'm just going to tell you what I was thinking about. Right? I ended the game thinking about that. That's what I was thinking about. Like,
you're the best.
It's not as good, and this team's got to go to distance. There's no chance. So, I mean, by Wednesday, I'm going to lie to you, or I'm not going to be honest with you, or
no. I get it, and I appreciate it. It's just a little shocking coming from you, who's played and knows, like, there's still.
That's why I prefaced it by, like, this is going to be goofy, and so it's easy to do from 30,000 feet, because that's, you know, all the goofballs that watch football think they know everything. I'm like, I guess I'm a goofball that thinks he knows everything. And like, you're in the building. What happens is you're in the building. Oh, thanks, Steve. Yeah, let's just lock it up. Yeah, nothing to do.
Steve
here.
Young says this will get locked up
every week. You know, what do you in between now and the Super Bowl? What do you have on your schedule? It's going to be really tough, you know, because the rest of us have to go play 8 games to get there and have to go pound it into the flesh. So you just jump on the radio and call it a game. Call it done.
It's over.
Done, right?
It's over.
So I get it. I lived it. I get it. But I'm keeping it real. That's all I can do right now.
Now that's funny. Like, I would have loved to have seen somebody like in 1995, December 5th or 6th, whatever it is, come up to Steve and go, "Hey, congratulations on the Super Bowl this year, Steve. Well done."
You guys are gonna lock it up.
Dude, lock it up. Yeah.
But I do get what you're saying. Like, when you watch this team play, look, we all feel that way. You watch them play, and I have to remind myself, like, look, there was a 3-game stretch where they didn't look very good at all, and I don't expect that to come back. But I always remind myself of that. But yeah, when I watch them play And we get a chance in a couple weeks now. We're going to get a chance to watch them play against Baltimore, and maybe they do the same thing, because not only did they do this to Philly, they did it to Dallas too, and those are like the two other teams that are atop the NFC. They just crushed them like they were roadkill, just ran over them. So, I mean, I get what you're saying. When you look at them and go, it's easy to envision this team winning a Super Bowl because of the way they've played against the best competition.
Yeah, again, the top 5 defensive line, top 5 linebacking core. Like this team, we have to say, John Lynch, wow, to put together this roster, and Kyle to deploy him that way, and it's a wow from top to bottom. Yep. And that doesn't mean we know we have to go play him. We know that you can get beat. You know that this is not a lock. I'm smart enough to not say it seriously, because you know you have a lot of work to do. I get that. But everything about it, getting them healthy and really kind of rolling into Philadelphia with a dark, drizzly kind of crowd, and he's like, let me just punch you in the mouth with 6 straight touchdowns. Let me just do that. 2 a quarter for fun. We're just going to chill for a quarter, and then we're going to punch you in the mouth for 3 quarters and have no answer for it. Like, that just doesn't happen in big games against the biggest teams. What does Philadelphia say from that one? I mean, didn't someone tweet something like, "Oh, you're secondary," like some player, you need to just hide for a couple of weeks. Like, go away, let that one simmer, and just see if you can get out of the way of that one, because you just got freaking trucked.
Steve Young, we could do every week. I hopefully be on this on the Yuma guest line if he'll come back after the hot takes. Because I'm with you, Steve. I'm with you, man. I was going to ask you, actually, while you were saying that, I was going to say, to the point you were making, or the just the hanging out talking 30,000-foot view you were giving, I don't know that there's anybody else that you look at, just body of work or team that we've seen in the last few weeks, that you go, that's a Super Bowl contender, that's a contender, that's a contender. Everybody's got either a big injury or has fallen flat in a way that doesn't seem like it's, okay, they've got an Achilles heel. That's a team that's struggling in that realm. The Niners have corrected that problem, made a big trade, and haven't looked back. And to your point, are just blowing. If they're healthy and they're at their best, I don't know who can keep up.
Yeah, look, Tom's going to open his mouth on this one.
Yeah, I know.
Have the Cowboys gotten better enough to even talk about it?
Not to me. Not to me, they haven't.
I guess this weekend we'll find out more. But in the NFC, you're not going to. It's not close. And then in the AFC, you thought the Chiefs, their defense is. I think their defense is better this year than last year, and their offense. I think you make the case, but it just feels like that's not. And are the Dolphins built that way to go do that? Are the Bills built the way? Nobody. When people don't scare you, the NFL is all about eye for an eye. It's Mosaic law, right? You have to feel that tension. And if you don't feel it, that's how you get beat, of course, because you got to be careful. But if you play your, great football, who can match you? And my 13 or 14 years of the 49ers, usually the Giants or the Packers or the Cowboys or there was always somebody someone around, But right now, is there somebody? And doesn't. At the moment, you're talking about.
I'm talking right now, because 6 weeks ago, different. Yeah, of course. This week, it
just feels like that's why you asked me the question. I'm like, that's what I felt like on Sunday. I'm like,
I don't know if there's anybody else who's going to
do this. Yeah, right. Let's. And again, if there's a headline, Young says 49ers win Super Bowl. Like, that's stupid. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's a reaction to the talent level, and you look around the landscape and you say to yourself, barring injury, we gotta go wrap this up. So, I don't know what the headline is there, but it's do not take some cockamamie crazy headline. I don't want to see it. I don't want to do it.
No promises, dude. No promises.
Oh man, I think we've probably crossed this bridge a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago. But it it's funny that people are kind of coming late to the Brock Purdy thing. Like, maybe he is pretty good, or maybe, there's still people out there that say, well, look at the weapons he has. And I always say, well, how come nobody mentioned that with Kurt Warner and Peyton Manning, the weapons they had? They got credit for what they did. Brock should be getting credit for what I don't know how anybody, now this doesn't, I don't know what he's going to be like a year from now. I'd be surprised if he fell off a lot, but he does it every single week. Like, this guy is legit, and if you haven't gotten to that point yet, then you just haven't watched him a whole bunch.
I agree with that. And, what we saw right away when he played against the Dolphins a year ago is that, and processing power is an eye test. Like, and I think good fans can make this eye test too. You don't have to have played to see something go, wow, that's different. And the ball's coming out, and it's coming out with a purpose. And that's the dream for quarterbacks. That's like, look, could he be bigger and stronger and throw it 80 yards? Like, every week we talk about it. There's things about it that had him drafted where he got drafted. But as far as like facing down every situation, doesn't feel flustered ever. Doesn't feel like, even when he's screwing up, it's like, yeah, I own that. I'll fix that. Don't worry about that. Look away for a minute. I got you covered. Like, even in the games when we lost, what do you do when the locker room, like, I screwed that up. I'm not going to screw that up again. And so there's that mentality that's a part of him that I told you when you say you let him cook. It's like, that's who he is. You're not going to have, the guardrails are tight. He's not going to bleed all over the floor for you. It's not going to go haywire crazy. There'll be mistakes and things that'll happen, but he's also things that he's going to have to take 2 or 3 completions to do what maybe a Jalen Hurts or a Josh Allen can do in 1 or 2. Like, that's okay, because he's still going to be very efficient about it and go beat you that way. Like, what was it? Princess Bride? Like, I'll beat you. Oh, no, it was what am I thinking? Monty Python. When they cut the arm off, and I said, well, I'll kick you to death. They cut his legs off. I'll bite you to death.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing you can do here, bro. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose.
We're talking to Steve Young. We do it each and every week of the football season here on the UMA guest line, and we do a really cool thing every week. We pick a Forever Young Foundation Hero of the Week. Every week, KNBR and Steve Young's Forever Young Foundation honor a Bay Area hero as the Forever Young Foundation Hero of the Week. So many people and organizations go above and beyond over the last several years, but we decided we wanted to salute some and shine a light on a few. And this week, we're going to salute the Bread Project. This is a really cool thing. I was reading about this. If you're somebody who's dreaming about a job or a career in the food industry, a good job at a livable wage is at the heart of the American dream. To have food on the table, a roof overhead, and the financial means to thrive, right? Our specialty is in training low to no income Californians in skills needed to start a career in the food industry and land their first good job. Since 2000, we've supported over 2,000 residents of Oakland and San Francisco Bay Area to remove barriers to employment, skill up and get hired. You can find out more information at breadproject.org, or you can call 510-594-1702, breadproject.org. I worked in restaurants and food industry for a long time. Barista, hosting, front of house stuff. And I remember when I first started doing it, one of the guys, older guy who I worked in a kitchen with at the Nordstrom Cafe on 19th Avenue at Stonestown, said, when you work in a restaurant, man, you always have food. You always have a warm meal. You always have something to eat. That's something I've always thought. If anything ever goes wrong and you have this ability to serve it or this ability to work in the food industry, it's a people job. It's a customer service job. It's stuff you can do. So this is a really, really cool project. Breadproject.org that gets people into the right path. And no joke, you work in the food industry, there is a meal for you every day. It's definitely a good program here. I like this.
It's called human dignity, right? It's about giving someone a chance to go. Like, people say, well, would you work for it? Like, I just need a break. I just give me you can count on me. I'll show up. Yeah. I'll get it done. And every week we're talking about different groups that are just jumping in the middle of the problems on the ground. Not theoretical, not think tank. Well, it's like, there's a problem on the ground. Let's go fix it. And again, I love this. I love doing it every week, and we pick great people. Just scream their name out and tell them thanks, because get a hug from us, because we love that you're giving people a chance of human dignity. It's amazing.
I think that's the thing that kind of the thread that ties all these shout-outs together is they're about giving people chances, and that's the thing that I appreciate the most, because you never know what someone can or can't do until you give them a chance, and it's nice that these organizations are finding a way to give these people who otherwise don't have a chance to show that, yeah, you can count on me. I can do this. I can get it done.
And I like the opportunity to screw up and then say, no, I can fix that. I screwed that up, and I want another shot. Mm-hmm. And getting people another shot. Like, I know that it's hard, but I don't know. This sounds like a group that's willing to give people another shot. And can you show up on time? Can you get something done? Can we give you so you have that human dignity that you're accomplishing something, a sense of accountability, and that's where people start to thrive. So that's basic stuff. But yeah. Again, you and I, Copes, we're not doing that. So that's why we're shouting out people's names, because people are doing it, and we love it.
No, it's good. It's awesome stuff.
Let me ask you this. What does the win do for the 49ers? And maybe more importantly, like, what does that loss do? Is it just hey, look, it's only a Fletch, if I can, another Monty Python line, it's only a Fletch one. We'll get over it. If we beat Dallas, we're right back on the train, and we're good to go. Are there any scars that come from that? Is there any kind of more self-confidence that comes? Like, I think the Niners know who they are when they're good, but what does that do for each team, if anything, this late in the season moving forward?
You eyeball each other. You saw it. You watch, and that's why you weigh it out in your mind. Like, what did you learn about the Eagles? Is that they can't protect the quarterback like they were. They are not a threat like they were on defense, and you smell it. You can sense it. And so, yeah, you might come back stronger. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you didn't play great. But fundamentally, just what do you think about this football team? And I think that's what you learn. You learn in if you do see them again, which you will, hopefully. If the Steve Young plan, we'll see each other. I think that's what you learn is you eyeball each other, and you got a sense of it. And then also going on the road and doing it in the late in the season and then kind of in the environment, it emboldens you in a way that, as long as you don't have the hubris, and I think this locker room is really locked in. There are locker rooms that you come up with a big win and then you hear about it for 3 weeks. Well, you got to go play next week. Oh no, we want to talk about that game some more and feel that game some more. It's like, then you get your, got punched in the face and you don't have an answer. This is a team that kind of learns that, gathers it, takes it in, and then, let's go back to work. Fred Warner talked about it all the time. I mean, remember the losses, and he'd stand up and say, look, we're going to get better. This is an opportunity. And so when you win and you have a big victory like that, there's a sense of exultation and all that stuff, but you don't get lost in it. This is a team that's not going to get lost in success, which is, again, why I feel the way I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Young with us here on the You're My Guest line. So we were just talking about Kyle, and people say he runs the ball a lot and he loves to run. I looked up their run and pass percentages. Do you know what they are, Steve? Any idea?
Run and pass percentage. I'm going to say right today for a 23 season.
Yeah, right today.
Say it's 50-50 right now.
Pretty good. That's it. So the pass is at 49.65 and runs at 50.35, right? So get this.
If I would have punched that, I wish I would have punched that one out.
You should have.
I'm going to say 49.5.
You want to let it ride here? Because I got a second part to the question here.
Let it ride.
Where do you think they both rank? Where does the 49.65% pass percentage rank in the NFL out of 32 teams?
3.
31st.
What?
49.6.
Did you say yards per pass play?
No. The 49.65% of plays that were passes. We said it was 50-50 split.
Like they're actually. Oh, got it.
Yes.
You're saying that they're 31st in the league in number of pass plays.
Percentage of pass plays. However, the 50.35
Late
of run, that makes them second. That's the second highest rate of run plays in the league, behind only Baltimore. Isn't that wild?
I would not have thought that, but that tells you how committed people are to throwing the football today, and that's why you asked what you learned from watching that game for each team is that the Eagles can't run the football. That's the other part of it. Like in that championship mode, and the Bills have the same problem. The championship mode, the Chiefs run into this every once in a while. They're not running the football effectively, and they don't have any fear. And then all of a sudden, Superman can't be Superman. Like all these guys, like they are Superman every week. you need that. You have to have that part of your game. And to learn that maybe the Eagles don't have that, that's another piece of the puzzle. And, I was just thinking about Jimmy Garoppolo, who's all-pro quarterback here, and now I don't know what's happened to him. But it's like, this is a team that you want. I remember mentioning it maybe on the radio with you guys, like, do not leave this place. Right now, the innovation, the talent, everything else, as your quarterback, this is the place. Do not go anywhere, no matter what. You have to be dynamited out of here. This is the spot you want to be at.
It's interesting. I mentioned this about a week ago, Steve, that, and it still holds true because of the last two games, that Purdy's yards per attempt right now are higher than Peyton Manning's best season ever and Tom Brady's best season ever.
It's amazing.
It really is. And the fact that I think he either leads or is second in percentage, because usually the guys with the highest per attempt are maybe top 10 in percentage, but he make up for it in the depth of their throws. Or the guys that have the highest percentage are usually in the low sevens, mid sevens, but they're not. The fact that he's both of those, I mean, that's stunning. That's not the eye test. That's like right there. Those are
crazy.
Facts.
You can't make sense of it because the offense that they run, if you think about the throws, when I say innovation, it's and the same thing we were saying with Jimmy too. Kyle puts this quarterback in a really good spot so that you don't have to go sideline to sideline every play. That you can get the ball, and that's why Brock's so good at getting the ball's coming out. I think the one thing that I think Kyle feels why do you love Brock Purdy? I love him for a lot of reasons, but the most important reason, the ball is coming out. He's processing, and he wants it out. He don't want you double clutching and then coming out of the pocket and then trying to find George Kittle on the side. Like, no, the play I call, I love, and I'm one of the best in the league at this. So run it and get the most of it and get the ball out. You remember the touchdown play, the little bootleg they showed Kyle on the sidelines watching it? He's like, he's going to throw it to him. He's open. And the coach was like, yeah, okay, good. Because that's the way he is. Like, he's on it, and he's going to put you in a good spot. And so that's why do you like Kirk Cousins? Because he wants somebody that can, process with me, stay on it, get the ball out, and get people's hands in space, because that's the game today. And that's why you talk about Yak. Yak is like, the bread and butter of this team, and always was for the 49ers in the old days too. It's like, put it in people's hands, get it, then let them run. And that's when the stats make no sense when you get all that going in one place. It's crazy kind of stuff. I saw that first in 5 different things, and I am amazed by the 50-50 thing and how it ranks.
Yeah.
Where are the Ravens? Do you have all the teams listed?
Yeah, I've got it in front of me. So the Ravens are the Ravens run. They're the only team who runs the ball more than the 49ers by percentage. It's 0.9% more. So they're at 51.25 to the 50.35. Right. I'll get you the pass plays here. So they rank number 1 in the league in running offense. So let me give me 1 second. If you guys can stall for me, that'd be great.
But I think that's why I was wondering, because that's the team that historically skated running game, and that we were always kind of around that. And you look back in the day too, by the way, our we were never, even when we were explosive, our running game was always around the top 10. We were never below average. And that's the thing people don't understand, because the running game was an offshoot of the natural kind of, and that's where Kyle feels the same way. The ball's coming out in the pass play. The short passing game is our extension of our running game, and then we run to complement that. And in complementing it, people say the 49ers have to establish the running game. No. We want to establish the ball coming out and making defenses go sideline to sideline, trying to cover all kinds of crazy stuff. And that's when you run at them and they don't know what's coming. You throw it at them, they don't know what's coming. Because you've created that indecision by being really efficient. Every play that you call in the huddle, something happens that puts the defense in a bind, and then something happens. And they look this way, look that way, and they don't know what, and they start to scream at each other. Remember, I told you in the games that we know we were won is when the defense starts yelling at each other in the huddle. They're like, "Well, where are you? Why didn't you?" They just start to chalk it up. It's done. It's done. We're good.
You know what I would like to know? I would like to know. I think what would be more meaningful for me anyway is what their percentage run pass is the first 3 quarters, because I think they get really run heavy in the fourth because they're up by so much. I'd like to. It'd be interesting.
That's interesting.
To see. It'd be interesting to see what it is.
One stat we need to find is coming out of halftime, the possession after halftime, and to me, it feels like every week there's an explosive possession right after halftime that kind of either reestablishes the dominance of the game or get you back into it. Like whatever they're doing at halftime is also something I'd like to stat on. Copes, get that one
also,
too.
Go back next week. I'll run through all the first series that you want the first series that they run out of the half?
The second half.
First series of the second half.
Versus
okay.
everybody else. If anybody's a better first series coming out of halftime, I want to know who that is.
I don't know if I'll have the notes, the stats per the league, but I will get you what the Niners have done, and we'll have the explosives for sure next week.
Got it for you. Any games you want to ask Harmony about on Friday?
I knew I should. I was thinking to myself, do not bring her up. Don't bring her up, even though you want to. You just want to stick it to him. You want to just get him like reeling a little bit. I was trying to find the right time to do it, and I don't think I found the right time. And now it's coming back. It's like a whiplash effect.
Yeah, right.
Now I got to put up with this.
Didn't work, did it?
Oh, it did not work. That one blew up in my face.
It's like a boomerang.
That is the boomerang effect. That's the Tom Tolbert effect.
There you go.
I think you're going to get Tolbert. After all these years, Tom, I think I've nailed you. I was like, I got him a good one. And then somehow you wiggle out of it, and then I come back and smack you right in the face with something. I never win. With you.
Well, come back on Friday. You can do a live Harmony with us.
Steve Arene and Harmony.
It'll be fantastic.
That is one of the worst segments ever.
One of the worst segments I know about.
Laugh along and go, hey, that's really great.
You know what? I love when people say that's a terrible segment and they tell us all about the segment.
They tell us everything they heard.
That's so bad.
So
like when you asked Harmony about the Bills game, that was I can't believe what she said.
Yeah, I can't believe I hated what she said.
And then about the Chiefs game, wow.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago when she said a thing about Kerr, that was terrible. I can't believe you guys did that. I hated it.
And hello, Steve Young.
There she is, dude. You're lucky, dude. Anyway, we've hit budget.
Why?
Yeah,
why do I dip my toe in this?
Careful, Steve.
You probably shouldn't have got Harmony's.
I would just stop talking if I were you, dude. If I were you, I'd get out of here as quickly as I could. If I were you, I would cut bait as quickly as possible.
All right, my friend. We will
jump ship.
We'll let you go before Harmony gets rebooted and ready to go again.
She's in an update.
Have a good weekend, Steve. We'll talk to you.
Boys.
All right.
Did it to himself, man. He did it to himself.
Hey, you know what? What are you gonna do? I mean, it's like Candyman. You say the Candyman's coming. You say Harmony's name, Harmony will be there. What do you expect?
Yeah,
Harmony's coming. You don't even need to say it 3 times. You just say Harmony 1 time, and Harmony's like, "What? Hey, what's going on?"
She starts toweling off. That's what happens.
That's what Harmony does, man.
It's not a Beetlejuice thing with Harmony. You say her name, she's there. She lives in the internet. So there you go. If you missed any of the great Steve Young, really good Steve Young, as it always is, the best half hour on radio. It's available on KNBR.com. We will put a bow on this thing when we come on back and get out of here on a Wednesday evening. It's Tolbert and Copes, only here on the Sports Leader.
Hey everybody, Mr. T here for Next Level Sports. It is flag football time, and no one does it better than Next Level Sports. They have tons of locations. Football season, as I said, is here. Flag football season, and teams are filling up. So what you want to do is go to nextlevelsports.com, find out the nearest location, and then find out how to register. And not just football, they got volleyball, they have basketball. You know how much I love youth sports when done right. That means keep the parents out of it. And a lot of them, like my buddy Berge over at Monte Vista High School, runs the one over there. The kids who play at Monte Vista High School are the coaches. And I've always thought the young kids really love it when high school age kids coach them. They have the energy. A lot of them just vibe on the same type of deal, and I think they learn sometimes a lot better when they're younger in those type of environments. They'll learn how to, catch, throw, run, and you get life skills too. When you play team sports from a young age, learn how to take coaching, direction. You learn how to be a part of a team. You learn how to try to make other people better, not just you. All sorts of things that I find fantastic about youth sports when done right, and Next Level Sports does it right. So if you want to register, nextlevelsports.com. If you want to find out where the nearest location, nextlevelsports.com. Teams are filling up, so if you want to play, if you want your kids to play flag football, if they've expressed an interest in playing flag football, then go to nextlevelsports.com. That's nextlevelsports.com.
Hey guys, Adam Copeland here once again for PajamaGram. Are you ready, fellas, to hit a home run with the best Christmas gift this holiday season for that special someone? I'm telling you, she's going to love these things. PajamaGrams, they're famous, naturally nude pajamas. They will take you to the next step, but they're definitely going to make you a holiday hero. They're so good, they sell out every year. I'm not joking. We did this last year. They sold out by the time I was done talking about them. Naturally nude pajamas, they're known for ultimate comfort, style. They're soft, they're silky. I'm telling you, fellas, better than lingerie. They're curve caressing. They've got a nice tight fit. And here's the kicker. I'm not talking moody. I'm talking the kicker with PajamaGrams. When you order naturally nude pajamas today, you'll get a free naturally nude nightie. That's a $75 savings on a very luxurious 2-in-1 complete gift. That's not just 2-in-1 with the gift. That's 2-in-1 for you and for her, because these things, you're going to love them. I'm telling you. Better yet, with PajamaGram, you can even add gift packaging. Make it come packaged. It's set. It's wrapped. It's ready to go. If you ask me, that's one easy holiday gift. Sure to make her happy, and I'm not joking. It's going to make you happy. As happy, if not more happy, than her. Listen, we all know how good it feels to win, so why not win this Christmas? It's a guarantee, I'm telling you. Hurry. Go to PajamaGram today for naturally nude pajamas before they sell out. That's naturally nude pajamas at PajamaGram.com, and make sure that you never forget and that you tell them this Christmas that Adam Copeland is your wingman at PajamaGram.com.
I love the fact that even before Steve got a chance to say hi to Harmony, even before we were halfway done, we haven't even shouted out the Bread Bowl people or whatever the name of that. I can't remember.
The Bread Project. The
Bread Project. Even before that, we had up on KNBR on Twitter. Steve Young says Eagles are done.
Before Steve even said, so don't put some bad headline, okay? I don't want to see a headline that says Steve Young says that the 49ers win the Super Bowl. I don't need to see that in December, okay?
It's already too late.
I was like, dude, that can't be up before this thing's over. Yeah. The internet works,
Eagles
Steve.
are done.
Yeah, Eagles are
done.
Steve Young says Eagles cooked per KNBR.com. You can check it out. It's right there.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
That's good.
He's going to love that.
Yeah. We got to get Derek. We need to tweet that, text it to him.
Steve Arene. Oh, my God. And people on the thread line were just killing me on the YouTube. Del Taco and Taco Bell, green burrito. Dude, I had a green burrito and a Del Taco within a mile of where I grew up in Lakewood, California.
You're missing
Loved the Del Meat burrito. That thing was girthy. Like, it was a massive burrito, and I love that thing. And then the green burrito, like, if you wanted that was Del Taco and Taco Bell are like barely Mexican food, like barely. They're like on the porch of Mexican food. Green burritos in the door, but they're like just inside the door. Like, I mean, obviously, real Mexican food, you're going to a Mexican restaurant, and we had great Mexican restaurants.
Who's the company that's tied with Green Burrito? Because Green Burrito would pop up on
it's like Carl's Jr.?
Yeah, you'd be like, Carl's Jr., and they'd be like, burrito and some chips? They'd be like, what do you mean burrito and chips? They'd be like, yeah, it's a green burrito.
Yeah, we had a half, this is back when I was in high school. This was way back in the day. We had a half Carl's Jr., half green burrito.
I think our Hayward one had that.
Yeah.
I want to say I wanted Hayward for a while.
And I go, that's funky. That thing was girthy. Yeah, it was girthy. It was big time.
Well, so Tom, then I'm right in saying to these guys on the text line or on the YouTube chat, and a lot of our buddies, it all started because our guy Rockin' New Arrow he said, "Hey, Coach, I'm down in Anaheim going to a California Adventure tomorrow." I was like, "Nice, dude.
There you go.
Enjoy Cali Adventure." And then one of our other guys, Ernie, checks and he goes, "Yeah, I used to live off Lincoln there. There's like a Del Taco restaurant."
Yeah, Del Tacos.
I said, "I've been to that Del Taco. I've been to that Del Taco." And then I said, "By the way, nobody loves a Del Taco like the city of Anaheim." There may be more Del Tacos.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Per
But Del
capita,
Taco,
Southern California.
Lakewood enjoyed their Del Tacos. Well, I used to go to Del Taco when I was probably, I don't know, 15, 16, and the Del Taco, you just jump over my buddy's fence and then run across the street, and basically you're at the Del Taco. And we used to use their payphone at the Del Taco because for whatever reason, you could use the payphone to do this sports trivia. So we used to get on the phone and do this sports trivia, and if you answer 5 questions right, you got whatever you wanted to. And I think I got a mug, like a San Diego Charger mug.
Nice.
Back in the day. Yeah, we just kept playing it until we won. And for whatever reason, that phone, you could dial the 1-800 number as many times as you want to. So we were like standing outside Del Taco for like an hour and a half, like eating a burrito, standing up, playing NFL trivia on this payphone.
Frank Tarkenton threw for this many yards in 1971.
Until we won a damn mug. And we finally got our mug, and I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Perfect.
Lynn Swan made the reception
Del Meat burrito
at
and a winner.
Line. Right, yeah. 1970s NFL trivia, just firing at you.
Yeah, it was it was a rocks throw from his house, basically.
Beautiful.
What it was, yeah. And the green burrito, and then we had a Duke's. I think we were the only ones that ever have Duke's charbroiled hamburgers. That was like a local like mom and shop. And they had great hamburgers, great fries, and even better, an Asteroids machine. So you go in there and play Asteroids. Walking home from school, grab a burger, play Asteroids, and head on home. Girthy. So, yes, it was girthy. It was not moist, however. The one thing, though, that Taco Bell has that Del Meat didn't was the hot sauce. Hot sauce at Taco Bell is way better than the
Chalupa! But as you said, only at Taco Bell, Tom.
Only at Taco Bell, man. Yeah. All right, man, should we get out of here?
Let's do it, bro.
Let's get on out.
We got to live Moss. Yeah, sometimes we just got to live Moss. So let's get out of here, dude.
All right, let's thank everybody.
Yeah.
We had Brian Billick on. We had Dylan Hernandez on. We had Bags on. And Steve Young. I think that's it. Is that it? 4?
That's it.
We had a 4-pack?
Yep, 4-pack.
4-pack of guests today. Very nice. I appreciate all of them, and thank you, Derek. Good job today. Eat Bleep. Thank you very much to Tim. Appreciate it. Well done today. And
Eat Bleep, Tim. That's from me.
Yeah, let's see if the Warriors can sneak in a win today. Get a win against
Favored by 13.
Are they really?
Yeah, that tells me that Wiggins. By the way, Kerr did just say a little bit ago, he'd be very surprised if Wiggins and CP3 didn't play. So
yeah, I think they're going to play.
I figured that's where the line was. I was like, they must assume they're playing. I
think they're going to play. That's still a boatload of points.
Yeah, the money line was like minus 780 or something. I was like, Jesus, I might have to take that.
That is something.
It's good value there.
That was a big one. All right, man, I will see you tomorrow.
All right, dude, see you then.
All right, Copes. See you guys tomorrow. Until then, everybody enjoy your Wednesday evening. Take it away, Dirk.
Oh, my God. Oh! Shut it down. Let's go home.
Saratoga. Shout out to you for supporting KNBR, Saratoga's sports leader.
They've got even the physician who performed his surgery, which is important from the standpoint of health and maintaining what he can do. And then on the flip side, the Blue Jays are the wild card here. They have certainly respected his privacy all along and how he's conducted things. And they did, though, according to different accounts, have a very elaborate presentation to him on Monday at their beautiful new spring training complex in Dunedin, Florida. So they've put their best foot forward. And I can see if you're a player who kind of wants to have a unique experience living in an international destination, of course, the Shohei being an international icon and in Toronto being our one international major league city. It could be a perfect fit in that regard. The city itself, Toronto, is such a magnificent place to live and work. It's very clean downtown, very beautiful in a lot of ways, right on the water. So I think that it would appeal to him in a lot of ways. He also has had pretty good numbers at Rogers Center playing against the Jays. So maybe some good memories there are part of it. It's such a unique time because we're trying to discern and divine the wishes and the preferences of someone who has not granted a public press conference in 4 months. 4 months. I mean, we have not. There was a brief, obviously, at the time of his MVP award, but that was not really an open forum. So we really don't know. We do not know directly from him a whole lot. So it's just a matter of all of us here going to your sources, people who are close to the situation, who can speak to what's going on. But I'll be honest, it's been tough. We had a lot more information to deal with last year with Aaron Judge than we do now with Shohei Ohtani.
That's for sure. Yeah, information is few and far between, without a doubt. It is Ryan Hickey with you on CBS Sports Radio. We are talking to tremendous MLB insider John Morosi right here on the show. I know you said about 4 or 5 finalists for Shohei. Do we have any idea like how many teams actually made a pitch, reached out, tried to get a meeting with Shohei? Because, again, this is obviously one of the big, you could argue maybe the biggest free agent in MLB history and is on track to maybe sign the biggest contract we've ever seen. You would think like he should be, every team should be like at least trying to call his agent and try to set up a meeting. Is there any sort of clarity in terms of like how many teams were truly serious, let's say, about setting up and trying to sign Shohei?
Well, it's a very good point, Ryan. And a number of days ago, I guess it was probably 10 days or so ago, Jeff Passan of ESPN reported that several teams had been informed that they were not part of the final group and that they had pivoted to go on to different pursuits. The Red Sox were one, the Rangers were another. And I think that when you look at that group of teams, there were certainly, clubs that had different ideas and items on their to-do list this offseason. The Mets were another one. And in some ways, if they weren't going to be the favorites to get him, it actually probably was a favor of sorts that he told them then, because it has allowed the Mets to go more fully into their pursuit of Yoshinobu Yamamoto. There were reports today from Will Salmon of The Athletic that actually Steve Cohen flew all the way to Japan to have a conversation and a meal with Yoshinobu. So there's a real serious effort, I think, going on multiple tracks. And to your point, yes, every team in a certain way would love to have it. But I think a lot of teams realize very quickly that we're talking about a $500 million or so contract. And once you get to that point, it's not really feasible for a lot of teams who have smaller payrolls. You had to be in a situation where your owner wanted to do this, where you saw the ability to make back some secondary and tertiary revenues. And I really think that it's not an accident that the teams that seem to be most strongly in the mix right now, specifically the Dodgers and Blue Jays, have their own sports networks, their own ability to potentially, if you think about the rights and what it means for your local rights, to sell those streaming rights all around the world and to have people watching your games on the other side of the world, what that would mean for you and your bottom line. So this is not just, hey, I need a DH, I'm going to go hire a DH and sign a DH. The reason here is that it is a full franchise organizational move similar to renovating or building a new stadium. I mean, it becomes part of the infrastructure, Ryan, of your entire team and what you're all about. And I think for that reason, this is being looked upon as yes, a big expenditure, but also the possibility of a revenue generator for both the objective and also the more subjective elements of what your brand recognition is in the world.
Right. I mean, you look, that's true. That's why I feel like the market, again, we've heard, like you mentioned before, like, teams got told, hey, no longer the running, move on sort of thing. So the interest is bigger than 4 or 5 teams. But to your point, it's like it's a massive expense. Let's just say $500 million to keep even round numbers there. But it's like if you bring Shohei to town with the fanfare just from, the love he has in Japan, like you are basically buying a massive country. And now all of a sudden, let's just say randomly, if he goes to the Pirates, right, a team that traditionally would not be into it, it's like, well, now all of a sudden, everyone in Japan, you believe, is now all of a sudden into the Pittsburgh Pirates to watch Shohei.
Right.
And it's like one of those where it's money well spent.
Exactly right. I go back to this. This was during the World Baseball Classic. Japan had played against the Czech Republic in the World Baseball Classic. And when Ohtani arrived in the U.S. for the final round of the WBC, just as a sign of goodwill, he was wearing a Czech team hat, just like out of respect to his opponents, just sort of sporting the hat of a new emerging baseball country. And many people said through the Czech Baseball Association that was like one of the best things that ever happened to them. was
incredible.
Shohei wear their hat, and he was going through customs, getting his picture taken, and everybody saw it. And that I just think speaks to what it does. And now the one thing from a timing perspective, it's important to note is that usually when you look at the timing of a game, let's say, if you're the Blue Jays, I'll be curious to see if they end up changing any of their game times a little bit, because if he were to sign there, because of course it's like a 12-hour cycle. So roughly, I'm saying like a 7:00 game PM is a 7:00 game AM in Japan. So if you wanted to potentially have a if you were theoretically